In this video, we're going to be talking about Roatan, Honduras, and why we think we found the perfect excursion. I mean, the perfect excursion for you if you're on a cruise or you're just vacationing there. So make sure you sit back, relax, and check out this video because we got something for you.
Yeah, so if you're looking for what should I do when I get to Roatan, Honduras, we got you covered. So what we did was we searched far and wide.
Yes.
We really did. We did our research, and we suggest that anything you're doing that's outside of the cruise ship, that you do your own research and kind of look at reviews, look at TripAdvisor, look at Google, look everywhere, and look at the reviews of what you're going to do. Yeah. And that's what this guy did.
We found a gentleman by the name of Victor Bodden and his tour company. And this is crazy how we stumbled onto it. You found another video about a tour.
I was on the TikTok and I found a video. It was another gentleman and he was doing like an excursion and he had really good reviews
He did, yeah.
When we reached out and we contacted him. And we were kind of on the fence, and then you found this other guy
I found Victor
Facebook.
Bodden it was actually on Facebook. It was through Google searches. Okay. And what really drew me to it is the website. Again, the website, at first I looked, I was like, wow, there's a lot going on. But then I searched and I found a video on YouTube, and the video is what sold me. And again, this video was done during COVID, and literally it was showing how they take care of the animals, how clean they were, how they sanitize things, but it was shot really well. So, and again, I like a really good, clean video, and I was like, oh, okay, if they put this much into the video or hired somebody to do this, they must be doing something right. So from there, we reached out, told Brizette about it, and we started pulling the kids, trying to figure out the things that they wanted to do. What I really liked about this company is that on the website, it's kind of like you could plan your own excursion.
Yeah, it's like, almost like a la carte if you want to. Like they have a list of all the activities that you can do for the day, and you get to pick from that list and kind of make your own schedule what you want to do. And what the nice thing about we go back to reviews is that not only did his website and video look good, but all the reviews reflected the same thing that was said on his website. Everybody's review was like saying the same thing, nothing negative. So that was a plus,
which I loved.
Yes. So you guys opted to do ATV, zip lining. We did the sloth and monkey encounter and the beach. So 4 things for the whopping price of $120
per person.
Yes. Except for, that was Jason and Chase was $120, and then Carter, because he was under the age of 12, he was $65. For myself, I was not doing any of the tours, which was nice because they had a package where it was just like a ride along or sit and watch.
Kind of like sit and watch,
I also got to do the sloth and monkey encounter and the beach, but for the other things, I wasn't doing that, so I just got to sit and watch. My most favorite thing about Victor Bodden's tour is that you don't have to put any money down. No. Nothing is put down. And that made me feel really comfortable because you are going to another country. You don't know if this is legit, kind of in the back of your mind, even though you're reading all these reviews.
I know.
But still in the back of your mind, like, oh, what if? The other person, they did want, I think, 50% down, and then you pay the other 50% when you got there.
Yeah. And then, again, that was paying through PayPal, friends and family. And if you know PayPal, friends and family, you can't get your money back. Yeah. So I was like, I like you, but I don't know you.
Yeah, I don't know you. And they will suggest and they recommend that you do bring cash.
Yes.
So he will let you know, like up front, how much it's going to cost, and there's no extra fees or anything like that when you get there. So don't be worried about what if they add this and that. No, it's what you want is what you pay for. So do bring cash because the percentage rate over there is absolutely insane for the taxes.
Yeah, and that's taxes on like tourist activities like excursions and such like that. It's different for food and snacks and things like that, but it is 19% if you use a card to charge anything over there, and that was exactly what we would have been paying out
on top of whatever we paid.
Yeah.
So we just bought cash, and never did we feel any kind of way about bringing cash. We just bought cash off the boat and bought it there. So how it goes is what you do is you just put your name down. That reserves your spot. And they tell you everything, that they list out what's going to happen and where you're going to meet. Very detailed. Follow to the monkey the monkey bar. Once you get to the monkey bar, you're going to head out of the area. Now, I will say before you leave the cruise ship, make sure you have your bug spray. Make sure you bring your snorkel gear because snorkeling is really popular there. So bug spray, snorkeling gear, water shoes are a must, and your towel. So don't forget those things. And I would just say, like, we did it backwards, which we should not have done. Just wear your water shoes the whole time. You'll be really comfortable and you won't have to carry extra stuff. So bring your water shoes with you and you'll be fine. So when you get out the terminal, you're going to look for his station. It's right there. You're going to notice that everyone has on a shirt with his name on it, Victor Bodden Tours. Everyone is so sweet. They're so nice and helpful. And what they're going to do is they're going to lead you to a waiting area. And you're going to be waiting there or waiting for everybody to get off the cruise ships. That day, we had 2 cruise ships with us. We had ourselves and Norwegian Cruise Line, which were both going on our excursion with us. Yeah. So he was waiting for those people to get off. They check your name off the list. And depending on what tour you have is when you're going to go. So for us, we booked all 4 things. There were some people who just booked the beach. So they left a lot earlier than us. And we just waited for our whole group to get there. Once we got there, you are going to leave the terminal. And this is when you're actually leaving the gates. The first part you come out, but you're still inside where the gates are. Yeah. This part you're going to leave outside the gates and you're going to walk down the street. Now you're in a group, so don't feel nervous like, oh my God, where are we going? He outlines all of this in his email. You're going to leave out, you're going to walk, and they're going to lead you to a bus. The reason you need bug spray. The mosquitoes are off the chain and they are also in the bus. Yeah. So they're inside of the bus. So make sure you just spray it before you even get on the bus. Everybody's super helpful. They help you on the van. You sit there. We had about 30 people with us. Just about 30. And the kids one thing and adults as well. Yeah. The one thing I did like about the bus too, it was AC. Was it AC? Yeah, it was AC. And I think for the most part, like a window was open too. But what I really liked was you had your driver and you had your guide. The guide was with you the entire time. It was your driver the entire time. So one thing that we like doing, I'm not too sure if you guys like doing this, if we go to a different island for the first time, we like to take an island tour. We want to go around. We want to hear about the historical nature of the island. Want to hear about the spots that we need to look out for, the schools. And this is what our guide was telling us the entire time. We were going through Honduras, and it was about a 15, maybe even a 20-minute ride to get to the compound. I call it a compound. Yes. But he was telling us where the expats live, the houses, the new apartments, how much it costs for rent, the schools, you know, what time they go to school, what time he goes to school. Yeah. It's so crazy. And it's crazy there because that was a fun tip. And I'll just tell you, they have 3 times that they go to school. So elementary goes to school from like 6 in the morning until like 12 or something. Then the other group goes from 12 to a certain time. And then that's middle school. And high school actually goes from, I think, 5 o'clock at night to 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. So 5 in the evening to 10 p.m. at night. So that was just, I thought that was a little bit of information. It was kind of, I was like, wow. And then we looked over at Chase, who was in high school, and like, you be going to school right now. And the reason they do that is because a lot of the students help their families. So a lot of the workers that we had were actually high school students who were working in the daytime and to help support their family, and then they go to school at night. Yeah, so, which was, I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, and I'm glad the entire community or the entire country allowed that. Yeah. And so I'm saying that is because bring extra cash off so that you can tip accordingly. Yeah. Once you get there, the thing that I really liked, and I wasn't expecting this, I thought because we were doing zip line and ATV and like the animals and the beach, that everything was going to be in different locations, but that's not the case. No. The ATV, the zip line, and the animals were all on the same, like Jason said, compound. Yeah. Which was great. And I like the most part about it. So when you get there, what you're going to do is you're going to check in at the front desk. They're going to have you sign your waiver forms, and then you go right into whatever you want to do. Yeah. So if you want to go zip line first, you go zip line. If you want to go ATV, if you want to go animals, you do that. I will suggest if you have a family, save the animals for last. Because if your kids are anything like my kids, then they're going to rush through and you're not going to really get the experience because they want to do everything else first. So save that for the last activity while you're there. So as soon as we get there, they went and did the ATV. I will suggest that you wear some pool shorts that you don't care that you get messed up. Your water shoes, a shirt that you don't really care getting messed up on. If you want to bring your own like mask or something like that so mud doesn't spray in your face, you could bring that. The drivers, they did a little lesson first before you got on the ATVs. They were very thorough, telling you what to do. And I'll let you explain it because you guys did it.
Yeah, so the ATVs were automatic, which was great, but they were all gas, which is, still gives you that adrenaline. What I did like about this, that Carter was able to ride with me. We all had helmets. Chase, being that he was 14, at 12, you could ride an ATV by yourself. So
he was like in hog heaven. Like,
once he figured that out, he was like, oh, we have to do the ATVs. What I really liked about the ATVs too, the instructor, they went over all the safety precautions. They went over where the brakes were, what was disconnected versus connected, how to brake, what we're gonna do when we're coming down declines, because it did rain. But if I'm not mistaken, I wouldn't even know, honestly, because when we went,
he said it rained the day before.
Yeah, so it was muddy, and which was great. You want to do ATVs in the mud? I didn't want it all dusty, so this was perfect. And he explained it all. Then he took us out. The greatest thing is, like, when we turned out of like the gates to go where we were going, it was amazing because it was all jungle. It was jungle. Like, you were literally in the jungle. And that's what I love. I loved everything about that. I liked the fact that when we were going through, we went down, it streams. I was like, this is so insane. I can't believe it. And Carter had a ball. As you can see from the footage, he was holding a GoPro.
Had the best time.
And he's like, go fast, make it money.
Yes,
So that was really cool.
There was one poor lady.
Yeah.
I don't know where she thought she was going. I don't know if she didn't book it or her husband booked and didn't tell her what they were doing for the day, but she wore all white.
Yeah.
And she was like, Chase was, she was in front of Chase, and he was so aggravated because she was trying to go so slow to avoid all the mud. But then Jason, he helped her out with that one.
Yeah. I didn't realize they were behind us. Carter kept saying hit it. And when we hit the mud, it was mud everywhere. We were like a hot, muddy mess. So.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. The other thing I would say is that you're in the jungle. Everything wasn't flat. And I've been to ATVs in like Jamaica,
Bahamas, Barbados, and even we went to St. Martin.
In St. Martin too, and it was different. I know those were covered. This was, open, you're on a quad at that point. But man, when I tell you, we were going up hills, we were going declines. Like I said, we were in the streams where it was real tight. We had to like really just navigate that. And the guide was really good. I wasn't in the back. I was right behind the guide. So when he punched it, I punched it. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And the best part, I didn't get to go with them, but immediately I got to see the photos because the best part was that they have photographers all around. It's another company that actually works there. So I will have to say, we have to backtrack. Victor Bodden, the one thing we love about this company is that every single worker had something positive to say about him. Yeah. Even before we got there, they were just raving about how much he does for the community, how much he helps out and pours out getting people homes and jobs and stuff
he's
in
real
like that.
estate and he does that. So he really cornered it to help
out everyone. So it was just really nice to hear that. But so the pictures, I was able to see them even though I didn't get to go with them on the ATV. So once they got back, they were able to rinse off because there's a hose over there you can rinse off, but you're not going to get those shorts back clean. So again, wear something you don't care about.
I think they're clean now.
Wear something you don't care about. And then after that, they headed up and went to zip line. Yeah. And that was fun too.
Yeah. So the zip lines, it's again, I know I keep saying amazing, insane,
it was fun,
intense. It was a lot of fun, and we've been ziplining. We're in Atlanta, so we do treetop quests. We've done ziplining in different countries before.
So with us,
but this
I
is
will
crazy.
Say, with our family, what I will say is that what you keep hearing us say we've done in this place and that place. Every country we go to, every place we go to, we really try to do ATVs and zip lines because that's what they really love. Yeah. So we have a lot of different places to compare it to. So when we're saying this is a good one, it was definitely a good one.
What I liked about these zip lines, there were 16 of them, but they had them 16 like kind of sectioned off into 4 apiece. So even though we had a really big group in front of us, it was about 8 in the family. Once you started a zip line, and these zip lines, let me start off by saying you don't just start on the ground floor and like, oh, we're gonna work our way up and get high in the trees eventually. Like you walk because there's a station, you put your gear on, you get strapped up, and I'm thinking it's right around the corner. No, you start walking up and then going this way and then walking up some more and then you're walking across the bridge, and I'm like, where does this start? So we started up high in the trees. The first zip line, it was not a short one. It was a long one, across like a ravine where you can kind of see the ATVs and everything going on the bottom. Carter, which is the one that usually gets stuck in the middle just due to his size, he was like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna get stuck, Dad. But he was like, don't worry about it. It looks like he would. And then we did see the kid in the family in front of us that was even smaller than Carter, and just in weight as well too. He zipped right across. So Carter was like, okay, let's go. I really like the fact that once you got to like the first platform, you immediately went to the next one and immediately went to the next one. I was like, it's like you don't even have time to catch your breath because there are people at every station. So that's the only thing I loved as well. It didn't feel like you were always stuck trying to figure, okay, what's next? What do I do next? How do I hook this? They were at every station moving you along. I was like, this is great.
There was so many workers in the whole place. Like that was another thing. Yeah. It was so nice. Yeah. And I will say you guys didn't feel rushed either.
No.
Come on, go. It was like they were having fun with the guides, and the guys were laughing and joking with them, which was a nice thing too. And they were able to do tricks and flips, things that you were not able to do at normal zipline places. So I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, this is really cool. And the greatest thing what I loved is they let you do, like you said, the tricks and tips. Because here's the thing, like you will always like see like the guy like jump across, or he will go in front of you. He do all this crazy stuff, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do one of these? Do you want to go upside down?" I was like, "Yes, I want to go upside down. Yes, I do." Yeah. So Carter, we asked him. He said, "Hey, Carter, do you want to go upside down?" He was like, I think I'll try to go upside down. But then when he saw the kid in front go upside down, he was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
I'm doing it.
And if Chase, he's going to do that as well. So he immediately flipped upside down. He's going through. I was like, okay, this is fun. I enjoy this. I really do enjoy this. So when we were done with everything, I would say that I'm trying to remember because it went so fast, like the zip, not the zip line going so fast, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like when you're at each platform, you really didn't have time to think like, okay, how long is this one going to be? How long is this one? No, you like zick, 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 you all slipping through. So it was fun. It was definitely fun.
And it was nice too, because even though I had to wait, that I was able to use the Wi-Fi. So I keep myself entertained. Bring a book or something like that if you are a person that has to wait, so you keep yourself entertained. But there's also, you get to see them going across through some of the, when they come in towards the end, there's some zip lines right there. Mm-hmm. So there was always something to do. Once they got back, we washed hands. Yeah. And then we got to go see Sloth.
So all this time she's holding this toy.
I'm holding this Sloth. So the most amazing part about this was, for me, going to see the sloths and the monkeys and the birds. And we were kind of disappointed because we had read a couple of days before that they just made a law where you can't hold the sloths anymore. You can't, you can watch them and see them, but you can't hold them. So we were kind of bummed. But then when we got on the bus, our driver let us know that, hey, no, we're the only location that you can still do this at, which was pretty cool because they take such amazing care of the sloths. And you'll see it, like all the enclosures that they have are really beautiful, very well taken care of, even from the monkeys to the birds, everything. They make sure they have only one guy who goes to get their food to feed them. And so it was really nice. So again, we had our own guide for this. So they take you through, and each group has your own person that goes with you. Now, I will tell you this, the group that was with us when we came on the bus, when we were going to go do the sloths and stuff like that, they had already went to the beach. Yeah. So we that was another nice thing, was that it wasn't that they were waiting for us to finish where we felt rushed, because they only did, one group only did ATVs and the monkeys, and then they went to go to the beach. Yeah. I think we were the only group that did all the things. So they weren't waiting on us. They already took them over. The driver took them over, and then he came back, and the other guys stayed with them at the beach. Yeah. So the driver was waiting on us. He showed us where to go do the monkeys and everything, the sloths. We went in. We had a great guy who was, talked us through everything. He was super patient. And the nicest thing was they let you stay with like the birds as long as you want.
As long as you want.
With the monkeys, as long as you want it. With the sloths, as long as you want it. They didn't rush you, and that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that.
The other thing that he said too, he's like, "Hey, take all the photos that you want." It just so happened it's 4 of us, but I'm pretty sure if it was like probably like a party of like 2, like husband and wife, or just maybe like a dad and his son, they would be taking the photos for you to help you out. Now, the first thing that we did, we hopped in They're not parakeets. They're macaws.
Yes,
they're
macaws. They were so cool.
And he's like,
I was scared.
Yeah. Well, the greatest thing about it, yes, Carter was scared as well. But like we mentioned from before, just going right back to like how the email was. They explain everything before you get there. They kind of like seem like, hey, these are the instructions. You know how you get an instruction manual? It's like kind of like they read the instruction manual before you went in. So before we enter the cage, he explained, when you go in, the bird, I'm going to say that it's going to land on your head. I'm going to start feeding it sunflower seeds. I'm going to offer you the sunflower seeds so you can feed it as well. Just don't make any sudden movements. This one is not, the temperament is this way versus that way. You know, from there, you know, if you feel uncomfortable, just let me know. I'll make him move over to somewhere else. It was very clear, very calm. And when we got in there, exactly what he said happened. He said he's going to start with you.
And the guide explained it. He also, when you got there, broke it down the same way. I will say, if you are nervous like me, the one thing was to have a hat on.
Yeah.
Because I think Carter had a hat and we just all used Carter's hat. No, or we used your hat.
You used my hat, yeah.
And so that was helpful because like Chase didn't put a hat on. And he was like, when the claws were in his head, he could actually feel them. And they are heavy. Yeah, they're heavy. These birds are so heavy.
Especially when they're sitting on your head.
Yeah, they sit on your head, but you can feel, even through the hat, I could feel like the claws. So, and then they'll move them on to the next person. But they let us stay as long as we wanted to take as many pictures as we wanted. And that was such a cool experience. And the next we walked over to the monkeys.
Yeah.
And they were so stinking cute.
I know.
Oh my goodness. So we had, it wasn't like you were in a cage with a bunch of them. You had one monkey. And there were several of them. Again, the cages were so clean, nothing on the floor, you know, a little poop here and there, but it wasn't like nasty like you go to some places. Nope. And he explained what was going to happen. Just don't yell and scream, make sudden movements. And it was great. He kept jumping. He was like, and then the guide was like, okay, are you guys ready to move on or you want to do some more?
Yeah, he's like, did you get all the photos that you want? Did you get some videos too?
Yeah, he was super sweet.
I think that was the cool thing. And the monkey, again, was just like, hey, sunflower seed, let's go.
Yeah, he was like, I'm in, you know, he would go out from one person to the next person.
Yeah.
Again, if you're anything like me and you're kind of nervous about things, I also wore a jacket so I didn't like feel it, you know, like because I was kind of nervous. So I had a jacket on, so I was like, ooh. But it was after a while you warm up and you're like, oh my God, I can take you home with me. I wanted to take it home. Anywho, next we went over to the sloths.
The sloths.
I think this was everybody's favorite thing to do because never in a million years would you think that you're going to be able to hold a sloth, you know. And if you watch the movie Zootopia, that's exactly what they look like. As slow as they move. It was so cool. And one of the sloths just had a baby.
Yeah.
So we got to see the baby. You didn't get to touch the baby because, you know, the mom wouldn't recognize the scent after you touched the baby. So we didn't do that. But they explained about the sloths. They told you how to hold them. And they did not let you hold them for a very long time.
No.
That was the only one that you can stay and watch them as long as you want to, but they only gave you a couple minutes to hold each sloth.
Yeah.
And there was a certain way you had to hold them. So you hold them from the back. This. You hold them.
I'll grab a mic.
Okay. So you hold them and you put your arm underneath to make sure they feel secure. And then they're going to wrap their arms around you and wrap them around your waist. And then you hold the back like this. You don't want to rub up and down right here because I think this part is like a little sensitive, but you just hold them like that. And they were just super sweet. Oh my gosh. They were just so loving and it was really cool. We made sure we were very respectful of the animals. We, you know, didn't mistreat them in any way. The crazy part about it with the sloths, you felt them claws.
Yeah, because the claws are so long and they just hook over very slow. It's not like they're trying to hurt you, but they're just grabbing. That's it.
Yeah, and they go into your side and you're like, oh, yeah.
Like, hello, I see you. Yeah. I see you.
I feel you little here. So, and then they take them off. And our guy was so sweet because he saw how interested our kids were. The young man, the man who was getting the food was for the
iguanas. Yeah, so I mean they were huge iguanas. So apparently we saw maybe one or two when we were there the whole time, and they're in the trees the whole time. I didn't know.
You hear them loud.
I don't know, all during the day they were in the trees. I had no clue, but he was like cutting up some lettuce and some other things that he had, and he went up into like the area right outside of where the sloths were to start breaking it apart. And he's like throwing it on the grass, and then you start hearing. We thought it was raining at first, and then one just dropped onto the top of the roof, and they start walking. And then we just saw iguanas everywhere. He's like, hey, he's actually feeding iguanas. You guys want to see it? Carter was like, yes, I want to see it. So we witnessed that as well. So again, it was one of those things where you did not feel rushed. We had plenty of time when we were there, and he said, hey, if you guys are all done, the next step will be this, but after that, the tour is done. He explained everything out again. I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed it. They did explain, they do work off tips. It wasn't very pushy. Just saying,
it was like, if you want to, great. If you don't, I still did a great job, and again, not pushy. And after that, they lead you out, and they lead you to the area where the photography guy was.
Yeah. So the photos were great. So the thing what I like to, again, every time we go on any excursion, I always opt for the photos. I mean, clearly, you know why. But this time here, usually you're always trying to save, because sometimes when you go to places, especially if they're like chains or they're like franchises, one is like the dolphin encounter. We've experienced that, being that they're in multiple locations, multiple countries. Sometimes it could be a little bit pricey, but in this case,
the quality is sometimes like,
it's like, okay. I mean, you get it, you get the moment, and we still opt for it because again, we can't photograph. You can't have your phone around the dolphin. It just didn't happen. But in this case here, the photographers were pretty much everywhere during the ATVs, during the zip lines. And when we got there to look at the photos, the guy was there. He explained everything, and he said, hey, for the family, being that it was 3 of you guys, and you guys did more than one excursion, this would be and the rate for the photos were great. We just purchased everything. And
because it was $10 a person for the for each activity, so $20 a person.
Yeah.
So that wasn't bad at all.
No, not at all. And I think, so it was 3 of us, we paid $60.
Yeah, and digital downloads.
Yeah, and it was immediate. We paid him, and he got my email. He went through the photos. He sent it. Before we left, I had the email with all the photos inside a Google Drive that I was able to download. So the operation was great.
Yeah, and again,
I would say that.
They were not pushy about it.
They were not pushy.
You like it? This is the price. And they weren't like even, like some people like snarky about like, if you want it, you can have it. If no, he was just a super sweet guy. Told us his story. We were like, oh, this is really good. He had some ladies working. He also had a high school student who was getting trained on how to do it.
Which is cool. Yeah.
And we were just very patient with him too, because he messed up the transaction, like trying to figure it out, not on our card or anything, but before he did it. But it was just and they were very sweet to him. They were like, no, it's okay. Just do it this way, We left there. We did go into the gift shop. I will tell you that bring your water off the cruise ship, because the water and the food there was really pricey. They had ices. They were really good though. So buy them. They were like $5. It wasn't too terrible.
Little icy bars.
Yeah, icy bars. So they were good. But the chips and stuff like that was a little pricey.
Yeah.
Now, the only part that kind of was like, is, and it probably was our fault too, or maybe that I wish, if because we waited so many families to come in the morning time, it took away from our time because we were doing all 4 things. Like we could have left, if we could have left like 45 minutes earlier, then we would have had more time, but it was okay. We got to go to the beach, and the beach we didn't realize it until too late. We either had to decide you're going to eat or go in the water.
Or go in the water, yeah.
And we didn't realize that until after we ate, and then we were like, oh, we have no time to go in the water.
Because you have to get back.
And that was one thing. They wanted to get you back 2 hours before, and they said that in the morning time, and they were very persistent on like, no, I have to get you back 2 hours before. And they were very mindful of that. Well, when we got to the beach, our same driver took us to the beach. Then we met the other gentleman. And it's like it's a resort. So it's a resort that has a connection with Victor Bodden Tours. You get a wristband. You don't get any food included. That was the only bad thing, because the food there was very expensive, very, very pricey.
And it was like pizza and burgers, like
then fish. We got fish and chicken.
Oh no, I'm talking about at the resort.
At the resort,
yeah, he said it was like just pizza, chicken.
Yeah, I mean we saw fish and stuff like that too, but we opted to go to another, like one of the little shops down. We ate. Our guide stayed with us while we ate, so you never felt like, okay, they're just leaving you on the beach.
No, he was.
They were right there, making sure that you stayed with the group, because he was responsible to get us back. The water was so pretty, so I wish that we would have not had eaten there, and we just got in the water, because the water again was like going to St. Bart's.
Like it was clear,
calm
and
and clear and beautiful. It was cold though, so
it was cold.
Yeah.
I checked and I was like, okay, this is cold. I'm okay.
And then as soon as we started to leave, because the guy was like, okay, it's time to leave. And this is going to be the place where you're going to get a lot of people coming up to you asking you, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want? Just say no if you don't. Don't go back. It's just how they make money. So no, or you can say yes and support them. So we went back. What was I going to say? Oh, as soon as we were leaving out, it started to rain. Yeah. We walked back. So it was like, oh, well, it's starting to rain. So we got back to the port in enough time. And I'm grateful that the time we left. And I could see why they stressed to you that you need to leave, because traffic was terrible. Terrible. So if they are telling you that they need to leave, do not argue with them.
Yeah, don't argue.
Don't argue. They're telling you for a reason, because it took us about 45 minutes to get back, 15 minutes to get there, 45 minutes to get back.
Yeah, because you have to realize too, and it's something that
all
I
the tours
picked
are
up
gone
too.
back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only one main road. It's one main road that loops the entire island. So in this case here, we went up, we went there and not loop. Well, yeah, one main road that goes across the entire island. So, and there's one way. So when we came back, we were headed back down that one way, trying to get back to the port. It's not like it's 3 lanes, 4 lanes, or here in Atlanta, 8 lanes in each way. It's one lane going back this way, one lane headed that way. So the traffic was very backed up.
Yeah. And you have to imagine there's all these people doing all these tours.
And they all got to get back.
And they all have to get back.
Yeah.
So when they say 2 hours, it's because it's going to take you literally 45 minutes. And that's on a good day probably to get back. And we also, like I said before, there was 2 cruise ships there. So can you imagine when there's more cruise ships?
I know.
When we got back, the port is really nice too. I don't know if we mentioned that. The port is really nice, very well maintained. They put a lot of money into it. So there's things to do there, even if you don't want to leave. But I suggest you leave.
Yeah. Come on, you got to see Honduras.
Yes. And the thing, I don't know if we ever said this, but our thing to get when we get back in the cruise port or anywhere we're at is we always get an ornament.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm not sure we had it with us. So we always get an ornament for our Christmas tree of whatever place we go to. So you could take that from us. We give it to you.
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you.
So we get an ornament, and it's always nice at Christmas time when we're putting the ornaments on the tree, because then we have these memories, and we always stop and be like, oh my God, remember when we were here? Remember we went there? So every stop we went, we make sure we get our ornament.
Yeah,
so
and on the bottom of the ornament, what we try to do too
is put the date in the year.
The date in the year. So you could always look back and be like, oh my gosh, that was Roatan.
Yeah.
April of 2025.
Yeah, so it's just a little fun thing we do.
Yeah.
And in the shops, that was the thing though. When we were in the port though, you didn't pay the taxes on like the.
No, you didn't. You didn't. That is so true. Yeah, because we used our card.
We used our card, and it was like if it was $15, it was just $15. So I don't know why that is. But and they had some really cute stuff. Like I wish I would have got like one of the sweaters and stuff like that, because the prices were like $45, but it was nice quality stuff.
Yeah.
We got back on the boat. Now there's a couple who almost got left. Like they literally pulled into the side. They made a special entrance for them to get on the boat because they almost got left. Because that traffic is horrible. So if you are going and you're like, I'm just going to take a cab and I'm going to go to the beach myself, which you can do, but just be mindful when you're coming back, that traffic is no joke.
It's no joke.
So I would just recommend, especially this tour that we took, Victor Bodden, take his, because they make sure you get 2 hours before the cruise ship leaves to get back. So and they keep their word on that, because they don't want any negative reviews.
No, somebody missed the boat because the tour guide messed up.
Yeah, the tour guide messed up. So
that wasn't the case here.
Yeah, and then again, they asked for tips. Again, they're very polite. You don't have to. But what I will say is that when you go there, just be mindful that it is very poor. Like when you go, you can see it's like a lot of trash on the streets and stuff like that. So get off the ship knowing that you're going to tip. Like do that, don't go there and just be like, wow, I paid for the tour. I'm not tipping, or I don't want to buy anything from the locals. Even if you don't, just give them $1 and say, no, thank you, but here, $1, $2 or something like that.
Yeah. The whole point is to support it.
Yeah,
I mean, they're building up the cruise port because cruise ships are coming there, and it's a ton that's being dumped into that area. So just really kind of consider, if you're going to leave, that's kind of leaving away from the cruise port where probably the money is not being dumped. So put it into the community, especially for the workers out there that are supporting the excursions and helping you through, zip lining with you, having fun with you, keeping you engaged. Like, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
And I do say, and they also said that they have the high season and low season. So we were actually like the last cruise ship that was coming in that was going to be for the high season, and then it kind of, you know, trickles off. Yeah. So they might have where it's 5 cruise ships coming in every single day. It might only be 3 cruise ships for the next week or something like that. Right. So yeah, we hope you liked it. I really, again, Victor Bodden, you did chef's kiss. A great job. We loved it. Everything about it from beginning to end. No complaints at all. Not
at all. So hopefully this video helped you out. If you know someone who is considering going to Roatan, Honduras, or if they're going on a cruise and that's one of their stops, or if it's one of your stops, definitely consider it. And of course, make sure you share this video with them so they can take a look at all the things you could do at Victor Bodden Tours. And if you know Victor Bodden, if you see this video, make sure you shout it out and send it to him, because again, we want to make sure that he knows, like, hey, you guys are doing some good stuff.
So. And I will say we're going to link our other videos to the different excursions for different islands that we could go to here or there somewhere, like Perfect Day, Costa Maya, St. Martin, all those. So just,
Go ahead and binge watch it. Go for it.
Do it. And subscribe. Like. All right.
Until next time. Peace.